I recently had a really interesting conversation with someone about whether we can still call Canada a middle power. I think we should still have middle power aspirations, but I think people who know about these things think that's long past for us. We have been the beneficiary of this benevolent, large economy ally. Could we be the beneficiary of a less benevolent, but a Chinese ally? Is there some future where we could, thread this needle?
No, only if there's a democratic revolution in China. China has an opposing global worldview. It's really important to understand that the governing party in China is the Communist Party of China. And, communism, the word communism is sort of less scary now, I think, to young people than it was to people who were growing up during the Cold War. But this is a one-party state. This is an authoritarian regime. President Xi is president for life, and the Chinese government is committed to reducing any democratic competition, not only in China, but also in Taiwan, also in, frankly, Korea, also in Japan, and then just growing out from that and expanding Chinese influence globally, which will diminish how Canadians live. And this is not something that we are going to just sort of surrender. And frankly, I don't think it's something that Americans are going to surrender either. I think that Americans, just to go back to the United States, are so used to living in the land of the free that they just assume that its institutions are going to be strong, and that this too will pass, and that there'll be some midterm elections. And that might be the case. But I also think that once Americans, whether it's the stock market, whether it's the courts, whether it's something that sort of gives Americans a jolt and understand that some of these things that they've taken for granted for 250 years are being put at risk, I think Americans are going to wake up as well. And it's just very, very important for everybody to understand what it is that we fought wars for. We have fought wars to maintain rule of law, justice, democracy, and human rights. And everybody, including the American body politic, have fought those wars for the same reasons.
It's interesting to think of Zelensky as a modern day Churchill. Maybe he's Churchill.
He is.
I don't think, correct me if you think differently, I don't think there's been an American public that willingly joined. If you had a referendum about World War II, it might have ended differently. The American public, even if we besieged them directly, they're not interested in engaging globally. So what is the best course for now? Go to Canadian policy and leadership. What's our best course of action here?
Well, first of all, just to remind everybody, the United States was supporting the effort against Nazi Germany by sending supplies, frankly, not unlike how the United States has been supporting Ukraine for the past 3 years. It wasn't until Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, that the United States entered the war. And it's important for everybody to know that Canada declared war on Japan on December 7th, 1941, because its friend and ally had been attacked. It wasn't until the next day that the United States declared war on Japan. So, in fact, Canada declared war on Japan before the United States did. And then Hitler declared war on the United States, which then propelled the United States into war. And similarly, after 9/11, it wasn't until the United States was attacked that America then went into the world, in my view, made a lot of mistakes. And so we are at a place now where the American body politic needs to be convinced. But I just wanted everybody to keep in mind that Americans are used now for the past 80 years of being number one in the world. And the course that Mr. Trump has set the United States on, both domestic politics, the economy, and on its foreign policy, is really a retreat, and that Americans are no longer going to be number one in the world. And when that realization sort of comes upon Americans, and American friends, traditional American friends, are either getting beaten up or are looking for alternatives. Perhaps some countries will look to China.